The Wizard of Oz is set during the Great Depression on a struggling farm. Dorothy's dog Toto damaged the property of their neighbor Miss Gulch. She then came to the farmhouse with a sheriff's order to confiscate him. Later that day, Toto escaped the neighbor and returned to Dorothy when a twister came ripping through town, picking them up and dropping them into the dream world of Oz. The Wizard of Oz is an allegory for America during the 1930s. The tornado symbolizes the whirling confusion of the 1929 crash and destruction thereafter. Dorothy exclaimed she didn't think they were in Kansas anymore. The fantasy, dreamlike world of Oz symbolizes the fictional world of commerce. The Creator did not place a commercial system upon the earth. Commerce did not exist before man, nor will it exist after man. Therefore, it's not based in reality and is an artifice of man, a constructed game. Before 1944, each state of America was actually a sovereign country. California is not a state in America. California was a country, a part of the United States Union, just as Germany is a country, a part of the European Union. After the bankruptcy, the federal maritime corporate government, controlled by foreign creditors, claimed the sovereign countries as their corporate venues, which they call federal territory. With this, they rebranded and trademarked the names of each state. Now California is CA and Kansas is KS. With the 1929 bankruptcy, the people of America, symbolized by Dorothy, lost their sovereignty as well, entering the fictional world of Oz and the game of commerce. After landing, the magical world gave Dorothy a pair of ruby slippers when she inadvertently killed the Wicked Witch of the East. Dorothy asked the Good Witch how to get home, and she told her to follow the yellow brick road to see the wizard. The Wicked Witch of the West warned Dorothy that she will bide her time before coming for her and Toto too. Gold is melted into ingots, nicknamed yellow bricks. Between 1916 and 1933, most of America's gold was taken by the Federal Reserve and shipped to England and Germany, the foreign creditors of the bankrupt corporate government. By following the yellow brick road, one can find the people who took America's gold. The Wicked Witch of the West is after both Dorothy's shoes and her dog Toto. In Latin, the word Toto translates to mean everything. In the original book, published in 1900, Dorothy didn't wear ruby slippers. She wore silver. The East Witch already took the gold. Now the West Witch wants the silver and everything else. The first friend Dorothy meets on her journey is the Scarecrow. He sings to her, "If I only had a brain, I'd unravel every riddle for every individual in trouble or in pain." The Scarecrow symbolizes one's straw man. When one discovers his legal remedy, all political and legal mysteries, complexities, and confusions are resolved, allowing one to settle their commercial affairs. The next friend Dorothy makes is the hollow and heartless Tin Man. The Tin Man is our tax identification number, also known as our social security number. Our TIN wasn't created until we started registering our Sesticate trusts with the United States Corporation following the Great Depression. With her straw man and tax identification number, Dorothy walks into a dark forest where the trio runs into the Cowardly Lion. Leo is a symbol for the sun, which is heart and bravery. The lion is symbolic for the fearless American people who have since lost their courage. The four followed the road until they saw the Emerald City glimmering in the distance. Seeing how close they were, the West Witch magically created a poppy field, which made Dorothy, Toto, and the lion fall asleep. The Scarecrow and Tin Man asked for help, and the Good Witch appeared, blanketing the three in snow, waking them up and allowing them to continue on their journey. Throughout the movie, the West Witch is always watching Dorothy and her friends, sabotaging their progress. The witch's crystal ball can be likened to the all-seeing eye Ursula used to spy on Ariel. The eye in these contexts symbolize Big Brother. The yellow brick road takes them to the grand and prosperous Emerald City. When Dorothy and friends reach the gate, the song sings, "You're out of the woods, you're out of the dark, you're out of the night. Step into the sun, step into the light." When looking at the wheel of the Zodiac, there are 4 points, symbolizing the beginning of each season. These 4 points are known as doors, or gates. The lower half of the wheel is associated with fall and winter, which brings death, trials, and tribulations. For these reasons, it's nicknamed Hell and is often associated with forests and being a lost soul. The top half is spring and summer, heralding a time of peace and prosperity, which is why it's known as heaven. The wheel represents infinite time. It can represent one day, 1 month, year, and 1 eon, all at the same time. As of 2012, we stand at the gates of heaven under the constellation Aquarius, symbolized by a man pouring a pail of water. The 4 friends meet the wizard and ask him for courage, brains, heart, and a home. He tells them they must first kill the Witch of the West before he will give them what they seek. They head back into the forest when the witch sent her flying monkeys to arrest Dorothy and Toto. Scarecrow, Tin Man, and the Lion find Dorothy and try to escape, but they're cornered by the witch, who sets fire to Scarecrow. But Dorothy grabs a pail of water and splashes it on him, putting the fire out. When she did this, some of the water splashed on the witch as well, melting her to the floor. As Dorothy and her friends got closer to Oz, the witch's tactics increased in intensity until she resorts to physical violence and deathly force. After the witch arrested Dorothy, Lion, Scarecrow, and Tin Man exclaim they hoped they could get Dorothy and Toto out of the witch's domain. By using one's legal remedy as a secure creditor, one can wield their straw man and social security number to free them from the bonds of maritime corporate government. The witch tried to kill Scarecrow first because the only way that the maritime government has access to one's total wealth is through the liquidation of their Sesticate trust, which can be accessed through one's straw man. I feel Dorothy's action of splashing a pail of water on the witch is symbolic for the era of Aquarius. Water is associated with knowledge and memory. During the age of Aquarius, knowledge will be what sets us free. After killing the West Witch, they return to the wizard. The wizard is a giant image with a booming voice and exploding fire. At first, he scared and intimidated them. Then Toto ran behind the curtain and exposed the wizard for what he was. A mere man with nothing but tricks and illusions, no more powerful than they were. This is symbolic for the illusion of power and authority. All men are created equal under natural law. Therefore, no man or group of men are above any other, even if they hold a title of nobility. Miss Gulch is the Wicked Witch, and like Miss Gulch bringing the sheriff order for Toto, the West Witch had her flying monkeys arrest Dorothy and confiscate her dog. When one holds all the power, one can wield it as they see fit, regardless of the morality of their actions or the knowing of their order followers. At first, Dorothy's aunt stood up to Miss Gulch, saying just because you own half the town doesn't mean you can tell the other half what to do. Miss Gulch retorted that if they didn't hand over Toto, she would file a lawsuit and take the whole farm. With this, the aunt complied, telling Dorothy that they couldn't go against the law. But this isn't true. Sovereigns created the law. Of course we can change it when it goes against our natural-born rights. Oz and the Emerald City are the fictional world of commerce under maritime law, which we have the power to leave at any time, just as Dorothy, Hank, and Jupiter have shown us.